2025 royal wedding of Princess Leonor and Prince Christian shocks the world. A royal wedding expected. A global celebration. But shock ripples. The crown is shaken. The world watches in disbelief. They said it would be a grand affair, a union of Spain's heir and a Scandinavian prince, a moment destined for royal pages. But when Princess Leonor and Prince Christian married in 2025, the event did more than fulfill expectations. It reverberated across continents. It divided opinion. It reshaped what monarchy means for the modern age. From the first public announcement of their engagement to their walk down the aisle, the wedding was suffused with symbolism, tension, and surprises. In this narrative, we reveal what stunned observers, why the world is still talking, and how this royal union may redefine the monarchy for generations to come. The story begins months earlier, with subtle gestures and discreet meetings. Royal watchers in Spain and Denmark noted increased contact between their courts. Invitations to cultural events, shared diplomatic initiatives, youth summits, they built a foundation of partnership before a public romance. When the engagement was finally announced, it was no shock to insiders, but to the broader world, it sounded like destiny. The wedding day itself was spectacular. A cathedral in Madrid, great crowds lining the avenues, the ceremonial processions, the music, the faith, the pomp. Leonor, resplendent in white, moved through the nave with measured grace. Christian's face was steady, pride mingled with emotion. The vows were exchanged amid tears, applause, and centuries of tradition. On the surface, all was royal pageantry. But beneath that pageantry lay choices that shocked. The guest list had notable exclusions. Some royal houses declined to attend. Some key figures were assigned distant seats. Comments whispered among nobles and diplomats pointed to disagreements, alliances, and cautious maneuvering. For many, the absence of certain royals was deafening. One widely studied exclusion was a principal royal figure from a neighboring European monarchy. The omission ignited speculation: was it injury, protocol, or a quietly thrown gauntlet? That exclusion became a signal. A line drawn. A statement in itself. Further shock came in the tone of Leonor's speech. Rather than a reserved, ceremonial address, she spoke of agency, shared vision, and accountability. She thanked not just family, but the people. She alluded to duty and voice, words rarely foregrounded in past royal orations. Her tone hinted at a monarchy open to critique, close to its people, not distant from them. Christian, too, made his mark. His vow included acknowledgement of partnership, not just support. He spoke of equality in service. He pledged to respect her voice in state affairs. In those lines lay a modernizing impulse, a prince not overshadowing, but collaborating. The reactions were immediate and mixed. Traditionalists bristled at the language. Some praised boldness. In Spain, young people saw hope in her words, older generations whispered of a monarchy evolving too rapidly. In Denmark, observers compared Leonor's speech to Margrethe II's own modernizing style. Across Europe, commentators speculated whether this wedding signaled a new era or a risky gambit. Notably, some royal houses issued statements of congratulation but did not attend in person. Others sent lower-ranking representatives. Diplomatic overtures followed, quietly. Alliances seemed shifting. Some saw Spain aligning more with Scandinavian models of monarchy, less ceremonial distance, more accountability. Others worried that royal traditions might be eroding too fast. Within the Spanish court, tension surfaced. Some palace advisors cautioned against such openness, others embraced it as necessary. Behind closed doors, Leonor is said to have insisted on control over symbolic elements, which hymns, what architecture in the chapel, which guest speeches would be permitted. Christian supported these choices, sometimes quietly countering palace staff who preferred a more conventional line. In private, they weighed legacy and innovation. In the days after the wedding, social media exploded. Clips of Leonor's speech, of her glance toward Christian, of the empty chairs in guest sections, all were replayed, dissected, memed. Comparisons to past royal weddings dominated. Commentators asked whether this was Spain's Diana moment, or a misstep in royal discipline. Public polling shifted. Approval ratings for the monarchy ticked upward, but with caveats. Many said they admired her courage, others warned that expectations now soared. Every subsequent appearance would be judged by this wedding benchmark. Meanwhile, in diplomatic circles, conversations shifted. Some heads of state expressed surprise at the exclusions. Others quietly speculated that Spain was staking a new path, one less bound to old royal networks and more toward progressive values. In Spain itself, the mood varied by region. In Madrid, celebrations continued. In Catalonia and Basque regions, debates erupted. Could this new monarchy speak to modern Spain's complexities? Could Leonor embody unity? The wedding's shock came not just from who was excluded or what was said, but from the symbolic weight of her vision. Culturally, artists, writers, and public intellectuals seized on the moment. Paintings, essays, songs, op-eds, all explored the meaning of her words, her bride's veil, her choice of music. A younger generation claimed in her speech a bright future. Critics warned of misalignment with tradition. Royal historians went to work, analyzing parallels. Comparisons were made to royal transitions in Britain, Scandinavia, Belgium. They assessed whether Leonor's boldness constituted evolution, or overreach. The wedding, they agreed, will be studied for decades. In private, Leonor and Christian retreated to their honeymoon suite in a quiet Spanish estate. According to insiders, they spent hours reviewing images, messages, and correspondence. They discussed how to carry forward the tone they set. Some aides were surprised by how decisive they already seemed, strategizing public appearances, engagements, and charitable initiatives with intentionality. As weeks passed, some of the shock softened, but some stayed. Royal houses that had stayed away sent post-wedding overtures. Some individuals previously excluded were quietly welcomed to private receptions. Bridges began tentatively mending, but the wedding's mark remained. For Leonor, the challenge is ongoing. Every public decision, every nation visit, every speech will be measured against the wedding's precedent. She has inherited a monarchy at a turning point, one foot in tradition, one stepping into new territory. In time, the wedding will recede into history, but the changes it catalyzed may endure. A monarchy that surprises may be a monarchy alive. A royal union that shocks may be the one that matters most. When the ceremonies fade, the gowns return to history, and cameras depart, the real test begins: how Leonor and Christian govern the narrative of their reign, how they manage unity and dissent, how they nourish trust in a world that expects both majesty and relevance. The 2025 royal wedding did more than unite two princes and princesses. It shook conventions, rattled alliances, and opened doors to a new royal era. The world was watching, and still is.